folks, and welcome back to another edition of the Proper Thought series right here on the old T.P.O.T YouTube page. I'm your host X, of course, but you knew that already. That's why your black asses are here. Now today, this is going to be a quick one. This is a special version of These Old Mamas. This is called These Old Mamas Boys, because we're not just going to talk about an old mama today. We're also going to talk about an old mama's boy. So let's get at it. Says here, you see on the screen, New York City mom killed Brooklyn son for weed picking, neighbor says. And this is hot off the presses. This just came in, I believe, yesterday. So let's read, shall we? Let's read. There's the son and the old mama. So we go down here and it says a Brooklyn man was shot by his own mother and beaten for weed, according to a neighbor. Christopher Jenkins, 28, just wanted to relax when he arrived at the Crown Heights home he shared with his mother around 10 p.m. on October 12th. But Jenkins' mom insisted he run back and get her some booze and a bag of weed. And when he said no, things quickly got hot, the neighbor said. Now, number one, why does your son have to go and get you weed? You've been home all day. Why can't you go get your own goddamn weed, you old mama? But it continues. He had just came home from work and he said to his mother, I don't feel like going out. I just got home from work. Can you give me a break? Something like that, said the neighbor, who did not want to be named. They say they were there when it happened. They said they were asleep and it woke them. They heard them argue. Christopher Jenkins died after his mother hit him during a confrontation at their Brooklyn home on Pacific Street near Utica Ave in Crown Heights at approximately 9:50 p.m. on October 12th, 2022. I'm familiar with that area. I was just there not too long ago. Crazy. The angry neighbor said she heard the argument on the other side of the thin walls, which offer little privacy. She also heard the shots and the commotion that followed. I heard 2 shots, she said. First the argument and then the shots. I was scared, so I closed my door. The police told me I had to leave the building. My son came and got me and we were outside. It was cold. I wasn't wearing socks. I don't know what the hell that has to do with anything. But we continue. Police arrested 44-year-old Vanessa Jenkins and charged her with attempted murder, possession of a weapon, and criminal use of a firearm. She is held at Rikers Island Jail with a bail of $500,000 bond or $1 million cash. Police arrested 44-year-old Vanessa Jenkins and charged her with attempted murder, possession of a weapon, and criminal use of a firearm. According to a criminal complaint, Vanessa Jenkins shot her son in the head after a confrontation. Medics rushed Jenkins, a father of 2, to Kings County Hospital, where he underwent emergency surgery and was placed on life support. He died there October 24th, authorities said. His mother could face increased charges after her son's death. You better believe it. The shaken neighbor said Jenkins did not turn down his mother's request. He just told her he wanted to rest first. He said to her, Mom, I'm not trying to go right now. I'll go later. Just let me rest, said the neighbor. He said, I'll wait until later. Stop messing around, she said. You must go. I need it. I remember hearing that. Go, she said to him. Another neighbor said the suspected gun holder was so callous that she dragged her son out of the building, stepped over his body, and walked away when police arrived. Boy, I tell you. A few things here. First, you got this old mama here, right? She's 44, he's 28. So that means she had this boy when she was 16. Bad move number one. Bad move number two. She's got him trained to go and get her weed and get her liquor and also kind of foolishness. And obviously the young man had a job, right? But he living with his old mama at 28 years old. So technically she's still raising him. I believe that. If you still live with your mama, she's still raising you. That's just what it is. Now, I don't blame the young man for his own death. But what I do blame him for is still living with his old mammy when they got 2 kids out there. If you old enough to be having kids out there, you old enough to be on your own. You and mom shouldn't be sharing a house if you sharing kids with women. All right? Now, obviously, she was an old mama. She relied on him for probably everything, not just exclusively weed and alcohol. She probably relied on him for a lot of things. And from the news story, it claims that she was basically ordering him to go and get her the alcohol and the weed. Now, the young man had just came home from work. I assume he was tired. And the news story said he didn't deny his mama's request immediately. He just said, "Mom, I want to rest a little bit. I just got home from work." Mom wasn't trying to hear that. Mom needed her liquor. Mom needed her weed. He messed around and said no. And it cost him his life. Because they said he was on life support and he eventually died. So those charges, which probably were attempted murder, aggravated assault, are now going to be bumped up to murder. Maybe not first-degree murder, but definitely second-degree murder. All right? Or first-degree manslaughter. Somewhere in there. So that's what old mama is looking at. And it gives credence to a phrase that a lot of us Gen Xers have often heard, right? They say, "I brought you into this world, and I will take you out." And that's the crux of these stories, right? These very people who brought you into the world eventually take you out. Now, I know I usually bring y'all these stories and the stories of these women killing these children. They're usually children. They're minors. But this was an adult. This was an adult. And for whatever reason, old mama thought that she had the right to make this adult do what she said when she said it. And when he refused, she killed him. And y'all heard what the article said. She dragged his body out of the building and stepped over it. That lets you know how she treated him while he laid there dying. Probably was what she thought of him while he was living. And y'all wonder why I talk about these old mamas the way I do. Because of these stories, these stories give rise to these old mamas. I don't make this stuff up, y'all. Y'all are looking at it for yourselves. Rest in peace, young man. It's not your fault that you're dead. It's old mama's fault. But I do believe you spoiled old mama, though, by being her gopher for her booze and her chronic. It's what she expected you to do. And when you did not do it, she was willing to take your life for refusing her. But that's all. Like I said, man, this is going to be a quick one. I appreciate y'all coming through, man. I don't take your good folks lightly, man. I never have and I never will. You got my word on that. So, with that, I will leave you good folk with 3 words, you know, like I always do. Open your mind. Peace, folk.
These old mamas.
Only from T.P.O.T. Media. Open your minds.